Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Leah, and I'm a nonprofit solution consultant here at Giveffect. I am going to be walking you through a little bit of Giveffect and the importance of having an all-in-one system. I'm going to start with a couple slides, and this is really meant to be an introductory overview of everything Giveffect has to offer. I'm not going to be able to cover everything, but I'm going to try to give you as much insight to Giveffect systems and it in our model. So thank you for being here and thank you for your time. So I'm going to jump right in. As you can see my screen, um, we're talking about Giveffect and focusing on what really matters most to you, your mission, right? Your clients that you serve, the donors and the volunteers. Our goal with Giveffect is to allow you to actually do the stuff that you are wanting to do and that are helping your mission forward versus having to manually data entry, right, or push or pull data. So we're kind of going to go through all of that before we dive in and what we hear from people as well. So kind of the pain points that we hear a lot of times with the nonprofits we work with is I'm spending all my time with manual data entry, or there's duplicate data or efforts done by my team, or missing or unorganized data, right? We live in the nonprofit world. I am also a co-founder of a nonprofit, and there's turnover, there's changes, there's people that leave, there's people that come in, there's volunteers that you rely on. So data doesn't always get where it should. We know it, we'll own it, right? Also, constantly downloading reports from one tool in order to upload another, right? All that time really does hit your bottom line. Gaps in data due to role transitions, kind of similar to the missing and unorganized. Those are big pieces of what we face in our day to day, or nonprofits do. Nonprofits with unified technology, right? The bottom line and the goal is to really, how do I reach more people? How do I serve my mission, right? So when you have a unified technology, you are 2 times more likely to exceed your fundraising goals. You're also 4 times more likely to exceed mission goals. And those 30 to 40 hours of manual data entry or administrative tasks really equates to allowing you to be able to do more with less time. I wish that was the case, but it is. It allows you to focus on what is actually moving the needle forward, and that's why we're here. Giveffect is a 10-in-1 CRM platform that for software integrations and resources needed to connect your development, your community engagement, marketing, grants management, philanthropy, all of it, right? We do the busy work for you so you can focus on what matters most, the donors, the volunteers, and your impact. This is just kind of the 10-in-1 platform and conversation that we're going to have when we actually dive in to the demo, which is happening right now. But we'll look at all of the pieces of the pie and why it's so important to get out of those silos and work together with an integrated system. So we're going to move out here and we're going to hop right in to donations. So our goal and my goal for being here is to understand your mission and your needs. And that's what our whole Giveffect team does. So we're going to start first with the first half is front facing. I'm going to try to blow through some of these examples because if you've seen one, you've seen many, but I always like to give a variety as well. So we're going to start here with donations and what your supporters see when they come to your website. So Little Lighthouse of Central Mississippi's got an embedded donation form. It allows you to keep it in an image and a little bit more impactful, right, for your marketing teams. One time, monthly, any amount can be adjusted. We recommend that cover the fees automatically be selected. I've got some data points I'll share on the next slide on that. In honor of, in memory of, because this is embedded, if I just click next, right, it expands out the page. So it depends on how your team wants to operate. Do I want to have multiple clicks to process a donation, or do I want to have a standalone page? So this is Union Shelter, right? Community Shelter of Union County. And they decided right behind their home button, right, or their donate button, they would want this button once you click. So you click on it, it pops open into your standalone donation page. You can see here it gives you space to still have branding. It's still your .org. It has one-time monthly. You can turn on and off pledges, right? So you don't have to have pledges listed. And then this team also has descriptions. So that was kind of that thing I mentioned before, the data points. Here at Giveffect, we also like to help our nonprofits with some analytic tools. So we have found that if you have a description and you have the cover the fees automatically selected, you're getting a 16 to 18% increase in your donation. It all goes back to tying into why the donor or the supporter is giving to you, right? So if they can understand that, $100 is equivalent to 100 to 300 pounds of food, that hits home a little bit more. And having the descriptors actually does make a difference. You also have automatic tax receipts if you want those. When you're setting up Giveffect, you choose all of these settings and how it works. You have personal information, opt-in areas here, address information. You've got some designations if you want to have those listed both on both sides, right on the embedded or the standalone. The dedication, this gift to someone, I think this is also a piece that shows that Giveffect really pays attention to the details. Here I've got dedication. If I wanted to say, hey, grandma, right, I gave in honor of you to community shelter, I can come right here. I can pick an actual card that was was done actually by someone impacted at community shelter, right? And I'm saying, hey, grandma, I just gave on behalf of you to this organization, and now she's getting an email and an e-card, right, that says she gave, right, in honor of her. It's just a nice touch. Again, you don't have to go into all those details. Back-end processor is Stripe, so you can have credit card, bank ACH, you can have a Google Pay and Apple Pay. Those would be additional boxes. You can link your PayPal and have PayPal and Venmo. So you have 6 different ways of donating: credit card, bank ACH, Google Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal, and Venmo. You can also add on crypto if you want to dip your toes in that area as well. Next, we're going to dive into some actual donation campaigns. We're going to start from simple and go to more complex, and then we'll move into volunteering. So we're going to start right here with a fundraising campaign. This is Harvest Hope. And what I'm trying to do also is pull in, because I know this is a general demo. We work with lots of nonprofits. So there's going to be a lot of different examples, a lot of different aesthetics. You have that customization. So here they've got a fill a backpack with hope. They've turned on this fireworks feature because, wow, they've hit their goal, right? They've raised $85,000. But what I brought this one up here to show you is the impact. They're not just saying, yay, we would raise the money. They're also tying right back to, we filled 13,000 backpacks from this actual specific campaign. So they're able to draw in that information. You always have your description if you want to of what your organization mission is. And then down here is the activity section. You can kind of turn that on or off as you go when you're setting up your campaigns. The next example is RSVP campaigns. So think of this as not just having to be a one-day RSVP or an in-person RSVP. This is also a 3-day remote family workshop that No Limits has. They also have behind this RSVP. They also are they're asking personalized information, right? Some details. So this is a custom form that you can really customize the questions. They're asking questions, and then they also, you can also have fees. So for this team, it's an educational professional training. So if you have CEUs, you can charge a fee, or if they just want to attend the event for free. And then you can see here, they have their PayPal and Venmo turned on. So they're processing 4 different ways of processing transactions. So that is an RSVP campaign. You also have just your matching campaigns or fundraising campaigns, right? So this is Good Samaritan Services. They haven't reached their goal, but man, that's a pretty good goal. I would be excited and ecstatic to have raised $220,000. Um, and they also have a very clean campaign aesthetics, and I really like it. They're giving clear emphasis on what they're asking, and then they also have become a fundraiser champion. So specialized links and customized links that you can also drive to other pages if you have a pretty PDF explaining more details. Next, we're going to move into the customary golf event, but I thought this was a neat little twist, right? It's golf plus introducing tennis. Okay, so they're doing two events in one. They're spelling out what's going on here with golf and what's going on with tennis. And then you can see that they have tickets. So this event's closed, right? But I still wanted to show it. Multiple different tickets, golf individual, tennis individual. They're also doing program ads. You can also put these back behind in sponsorships, behind the link. If the campaign was actually active, you would see different links that you could also set this up as well. Next, another great opportunity, because again, this is general. There's lots of options here. One of my favorite parts of Giveffect is that brainstorming and the discussion that you have with your dedicated client success manager, right? Someone that can help you brainstorm and look at fresh ideas. So the Demand Project, they're doing a fund and adventure. I thought the graphics are enticing, right? I'm drawn to this because who doesn't want to have fun? Um, and if you scroll down to the section here, they've listed products and they've had kind of the funded need, right? Hey, we need, $50 for a kid to, it's kind of a sponsorship, right? $55 for someone to participate in the glass fusing class. So they're asking for people to pay it forward. And they've set it up in a really neat way and capabilities to see where they're at, goal achieved for ice skating, right? Or New Life Ranch, they've got three positions still left. Just a great way to fundraise and tie back to people actually giving to something that interests them. Next, we've got the peer-to-peer side of campaigns. This is a great tool if you have really good in community engagement or you're trying to build community engagement. You can see here that our campaigns don't just have to be standalone photos, right? I can also embed a video that is able to draw in a bigger audience, right? Or just touch people in different ways. So here I've got mini laps. They've got student information here. They also have sponsors that they're collecting, and you can see here they have 12 teams. So if I scroll down to past all their information here, I get to see the teams section. I get to see that Little Lighthouse actually went in on the back end and set up each class, right? So they're setting up specific teams that they want to have set up, but it is led by somebody on the team. And then what each team is able to do, each team is able to do is they are actually able to have people join the team. So I could click here and join that specific team and be a part of the fundraising. I'm going to create my fundraising page. I'm going to set my goal. It's already set for me. I mean, I can change it. And then you'll be able to share that page with all your friends and family and help support. You can see here, 9 people has helped raise $23,000. I can also look at it from an individual perspective, and it puts it in kind of a neat leaderboard perspective. So I can see Ellie has the top leader right now, but Samuel is not too far behind. So a lot of peer-to-peer gamification. If you've got people that are competitive, it's a great tool to utilize. Next, we're going into the Pink Ribbon Gala. Right, I wanted to show you a couple different gala opportunities. This team is using a speakeasy party, but they also have auction items. So if I click on the auction items, it takes me down to the auction section. We have 3 different types of auctions: the traditional online only, and people can bid on this. You can also have this in person, where they're actually walking around and scanning QR codes. and bidding on it, and people can get notified that they've been outbid, or we can do the classic paddle raise, right? So all of our system, it's included in Giveffect. It's not an extra charge. It is um, a really great tool to utilize and have for ease of use and having it set up. And next one we've got here is the classic, I need everything in one spot, right? So this is community shelter again. They have their ticket sales, right? They even have a premium tabletop, a table sale of 8 people. So you can actually do ticket groupings, right? Rather than it just being single tickets. I also have sponsors. Gone are the days of you chasing around the sponsor for their specific. Here I've got bronze. I get 2 tickets for the event. And gone are the days of me chasing them around for their logo, right? So they upload their logo right then and there. It's in the system. And then down here, they actually have the capability to address their tickets. This is also on the general tickets, so it doesn't just have to be sponsors. If I don't know my ticket holders information, maybe I'm an executive admin, or maybe I'm just buying from a group of friends, but I don't know who's going to go yet. I have the capability. I'm going to get an email. I can go in and edit my ticket holder information and put in their details. We also have the capability to ask for ticket holders what food selection they want. So if it's a plated dinner or it's a lunch and you need to ask chicken, steak, vegan, vegetarian, whatever it may be, you have that capability. Or think about this as a concert and you wanted to know, do I want to sit left side, right side, or center? Most people are going to choose center, but whatever that may be, you have the option to kind of ask their preference when they're buying a ticket. Back to the campaign here. This group also has they sponsors live into once the sponsor donates and joins, their logo goes right into their space. It's live. They're linked if they've hyperlinked, right? So it allows them to have a little FaceTime with your supporters. And then this group had a really good job. I want some of their items. Well, I want all of their items, right? I want a St. Martin and a South African safari tour. But they've done a really good job in presenting the sponsorship, the auction items. Next one is another gala option, but I just wanted to show you their take on their annual gala because there's just so many things that you can do with Giveffect. So if I go down here and look at their products, we also have the capability to do golden tickets or 50/50 raffles or heads or tails. So they're allowing people to purchase other additional tickets, and you're going to know each ticket holder, right? So I'm going to know, oh, you signed up and paid for the drawing for heads and tails 1, or you signed up for heads or tails 3. It's going to track all of that into the system on the back end for you. So if you can tell, I actually have an events background, meeting in events for corporate for over 15 years. So I think the system is really wonderful in the events and fundraising side. Moving into volunteering, we also have very robust volunteering. I wanted to show you 2 different types of calendars and examples here. You have basically an animal rescue clinic that has multiple different options for volunteering. It shows up on your calendar. You have court-ordered community services. You've got general information. It's all built into a nice, clean, crisp volunteer calendar for people to register. Another example is this is the Jewish Family Services volunteer calendar, and you can see here that some of these positions are filled, which is amazing. Some are still open. They've got it in multiple ways. Or if I wanted to look at it from a bulleted view, right? Oh, this means that this is actually requiring a password. So you have to have specific training in order to have access to that information. And they have 0 spots left anyways. So you have multiple ways of looking at it. If you just wanted to actually look at, you know what, I really am only interested in meal delivery drivers, right? that's what I can do. I can come right here and click that, and it's going to filter out all of my volunteer opportunities. You also have the capability to have volunteer applications. This group has a volunteer application required upon registration. So I can come here, fill out my information. I have age required, so they have age restrictions and limits. I have my address information. I have additional skills that I'm asking. This group actually preloads some options, which I think is really good because otherwise, if you leave it open-ended, right, you're going to get all sorts of misspells and options here. So having a pre-selected drop-down is always recommended. Availability. These are questions that you can ask or don't ask when you're setting up your application. If you don't really need a calendar and asking, if you want someone to know morning, afternoons, evenings, don't ask it. And then they also added a custom form that asks a little bit more information on their volunteers so they can fill out their information. Sorry about that. Had to take a sip of water. You also have your emergency contact. And then this team has their volunteer waiver right on the same page, and then click agree and continue. Other groups will have it actually a two-step process. So I'll read my volunteer application, I'll hit the next button, and it will pop open the waiver so I can read through it. Again, aesthetics on how you want to do and how you want to have it set up. Now we're going to move into actual having volunteer campaigns. So think of this as I need to have an event coming up, or maybe there's just specific campaigns you want to have set up with their own little calendars. Every campaign that you create, this will actually create its own calendar. So you could share this with groups, community groups, or businesses, corporate organizations that want to hone in just on that specific volunteer opportunity versus having to look at the mass calendar. So it's a placeholder. It's a a landing page for someone to go in and look. So this is their veteran cemetery cleanup project, and you can click on it and you can sign up for their volunteers. You can read about the event and their needs as well. You also have peer-to-peer side, right, for volunteers. I use this example all the time because this habitat does a great job with peer-to-peer volunteering. Obviously, they have 38 teams. I need to get some details on how long this runs, but I believe it's much longer than a 1 day. But maybe I should actually read the description, right? But they are basically allowing people to create teams. So you can see here they've got a whole football team, right? That 125 people have signed up and said, I am coming with Matt at any time, and they can choose their time when it's a team. And they can come and help and clean up. They're signing up to support and help. You can also have it set up where you're looking at participants, and it's actually tracking hours committed based off of the allotment that they sign up for. So you can see most people in this team are 15, 11, 8. I guess they actually are all over the place, but those are hours pledged and information here. You also have the capability to do group reservations. I'm not sure if I have one pulled up here, so I'll just come back to group reservations if I didn't cover it on one of my examples here. I wanted to show password protection, kind of like I showed on the Jewish family. They had passwords on their volunteer opportunities. Think of this, and this is why I brought this example up. This is Northwest Metro Atlanta Habitat for Humanity. They have specific groups that they've kept allotted spaces for. So the Cobb Interfaith Coalition has requested, to their volunteer contact, hey, I want to save 20 spots for my team. You can have that set up that way. Our volunteering campaigns are very robust in how you want to utilize the tool. Good. I did have group reservations. I thought I did. So here is the Humane Society of West Michigan, and they have a specific campaign for people to create group reservations. And basically, this means now I have a group of 10 people and they're all coming together. So you are basically signing up that I'm going to be the point person and I'm going to have all of my sisters and all my friends come along with me. And we're all coming at the same time. So you are the lead and the point of contact for your group. And then people, you can either sign them all up at once or you can get an email and you can then forward it out to your team and allow them to say, yes, I'm coming. No, I can't come. Great tool for groups and helping save that back and forth emailing with someone. Next, we're going to do our event buddy check-in, right? So whether it's RSVP tickets, right? And it's online and it's virtual and I need to track who's come, or if it's a volunteer, or if it's a gala and a ticket. I'm going to show you both. Volunteers, I'm going to come over here. I'm choosing all because we're in a demo system. It pulls up my day. I can see I've got 11 people that are supposed to be checking in today. And let's say that Lorenzo showed up and he's ready to check in. Can be on a tablet front facing, so he can walk right in to your nonprofit, to your warehouse, and he can go right up to that tablet. If he's savvy, he can have his little QR code on his phone. He can click the scan the QR code, and then boom, it checks him in. Or you can come here and you can use your tablet and scroll and find your name or type in your name and I can go ahead and check myself in for the day. Are you sure? Yes. And now it's tracking my hours of how long I've been here for check-in. You also have the capability to have this like a kiosk, right? So let's look at this from a gala perspective. If I were buying my tickets, I can pick up my specific campaign. Again, Giveffect's demo mode, we have like one or two people signed up on a campaign. You're obviously going to have more for your gala. You can see here, 375 people are coming to my event. Amazing, right? I can scroll down here and I can also look at, oh, Bigfoot is coming in to check in, right? And Bigfoot's going to say, hey, can you remind me what my bidder number is? We know it happens, right? Instead of me fumbling through my paper, oh, what was your last name again? And trying to find it, right? I've got my bidder number right here. Or something simple as table or seat assignment. I can scroll through. I'm trying to find a good example here of somebody that put that on their tickets. Here I can see, oh, Chris signed up and he chose chicken, right? Now I can see that he's got that, or Chris is also a VIP supporter. So I know he's going to be sitting in a different section. So lots of capabilities in the Event Buddy. The next piece for your supporters is their supporter login. So here I've got Chris's supporter login. He can log into his own setup and he can create his own password and log in. He cannot access your system or information. This is literally Chris's own Giveffect supporter view of your nonprofit. So I can see all of my donation histories. I can pull my tax receipts. I can also look at my volunteering hours, right? So if your team is being inundated with, hey, how many hours did I complete this year? Now this takes this off your plate, right? And allows for people to come in and see how many hours they've completed. They can actually come down here and download a PDF. So if they need to show this to someone, they have that capability. You also have the capability for reoccurring donations. So if I'm a monthly donor and you know what, this week I need to, or this month I want to up it, I have that capability to change it. Or if my card is expiring, I can come right here and update that and change it. It's not confusing. It's not hard for me. It's here for me to be able to manage my own details. I can also turn off, maybe I need to pause some emails for right now. I can go in and edit that information. Moving to the most exciting part, right, is the back end of the system. Okay, I've seen the front end, but how easy is it to use? Giveffect is a robust system, so we have lots of capabilities to view things. So your team is going to set up each of your specific logins to your needs. So you're not going to have, or you might have all of these areas, but some people will have a more concise panel. Left-hand side is your full navigation. We open up into Giveffect's mission control. This is that KPIs. Where am I trending this week, this month, last week? Where am I year over year? If I wanted to just break it down and look at in kind, I could look at that. I also have the capability to just click on this and look at my month over month. We have dashboard widgets again that are customized by you. So if you're development, right, you're going to want to look at certain areas. If you're marketing, you're going to want to look at different dashboard widgets. There's 13 different dashboard widgets. I think there's 13, but they're not like you don't build them, right? They're preset and you can drop them and select them in here. So never contacted. Why did Ace Gooding give $250 and we never contacted them? That's a trigger, and that's a not a trigger, but that is an alert right there that I need to create something or a workflow or something to allow for those touch points to happen. So mission control, custom dashboards. You've got giving levels for board meetings. They slide and they move so you can adjust. You've got volunteers. You've got payment locations. You've got age and gender, which pulls from your volunteer application. You've got traffic sources, and there's some other SEO analytics here. Moving right below the mission control is the CRM. I could spend days in here talking about it. We do have a very concise and very thoroughly thought through training plan, right? So we're not just giving you the keys and saying, good luck, figure it out, right? We are here. We want you to be successful. So we've thought through the process. We take feedback. We listen to your needs as well. So side tangent, sorry about that. Here we are in the Giveffect demo, and we are in the contacts CRM part. You can see before I even do anything, I have my scoreboard. So I don't even have to run a report when I'm asked, hey, Leah, how many donors do we have? You know, what's our donor conversion rate, right? Well, you know, hi board, right? I've got 2,194 contacts in my system that have opted in for my mailers that we communicate with on a regular, and 822 of them are donors. I've got a 37% donor conversion rate. My goal for 2026 is to get it to 40. How I'm going to get there is X, Y, and Z, right? Tangible and measurable outcomes right here at my fingertips without even having to run a report. This section here, customizable, right? I can customize my columns. So if I don't care about volunteer hours on this side, I can make that gone, right? Again, it's specialized to you, so you're setting up what you like to see. It's not messing with other people's aesthetics. We're going to hop into a profile, and we're going to look at Wendell, our trusted demo. You can see he's given over 3.1 million. So we're going to look at Wendell's profile here as it pops up. You're going to see Wendell's personal information. You're going to see all the groups and information that he could be tagged with. Again, I'm a big tagger. So I'm probably going to talk about tagging now once we're in the back end of the system a lot more. Pink is opt-in. So those are when he was registering or donating, he opted in to be a part of donation news and volunteer news. The gray is actually two options. It's automatically data mapped when you're setting up your campaigns to say, as soon as they buy a ticket, I want them to be tagged as Walk 2025, Walk 26, Gala 26. You have that capability to customize that. Or if they complete this form, they're going in the system and being tagged as whatever it may be. You also have the capability to run queries and tag people as major donors or board members, right? Really customizable groupings, right? Contact groups, volunteer groups, donation groups are the three that we have. Address information here. Giveffect does national change of address twice a year included. So when it comes time to mailing, you have the option to go with national change of address or what you have. It's smart technology to say, oh, you want to go with if they have one, national change of address will actually take priority over. We also have a timeline. I think this is important for your executive director or anybody that's wanting to quickly see who's doing what with your team. You've got timeline management here to see who sent an email, who had a phone call. It tracks all of that. Who sent a letter? If I needed to take quick action with Wendell, I can come right here, print a letter, and let's say I needed to send him his donation. Let's do his big fish mailer, right? Okay. So if I needed a mailer give today, grab it. It's going to send, if it's personalized, right? In when I was setting up that letter, it's going to personalize it. So now Wendell's getting it. Hey, dear Wendell, thank you for, your support. Um, Whatever the letter may say. Then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to see additional information. Again, Giveffect's demo is showing you all the possibilities. When you set up your actual system, there's going to be a lot of blank fields. Like all of this will be a blank canvas. These are custom fields that you can add in to your system, right? We obviously know not every system is going to have all the fields that you had from your legacy system, right? So you have the capability to create custom fields. You also have I call this the whole interaction page. I don't even know the technical term of it. But this is basically where you get to see that 360-degree view of your supporters. Where have they given? What is the heartbeat of Wendell and why does he give? Oh, he always gives at the gala. Okay, now I know he likes good food, right? Or he's always giving at this event or end of year, right? I've got the capabilities to even break it down into soft credits or reoccurring pledges that he's made, right? I've got all of his volunteering right at my fingertips. So previously we looked at um, Chris's supporter view. Now we're looking on the back end and we're seeing everything that Wendell has done for us. We can see it. So we can see that he's completed 2,200 volunteer hours. He's a stellar volunteer. I also have the capability to rate him. So maybe he was tired and dragging that day. I gave him a 1 star. I can see, that capability to track. I also have interaction tracking. This is a big one for a lot of people. It is the same as up top in the timeline, but this is getting down into the details, right? I need to know how many emails were sent, how many letters have been sent. If we had some meetings with him, what are those meetings? Because I can entail some details as well. The Giveffect blind copy BCC feature is also a big distinguisher between some other systems out there. Some of these systems will offer you to pay to get this built, right? If I were in my native.org email, my work email, right, my nonprofit email, and I wanted to send an email to all my volunteers, or maybe it's a major donor. I don't have to come in here and go into Giveffect and send an email. I can send it from my email and bcc@giveffect.com in the BCC field, and it's going to track that and log it into Wendell's profile that I emailed him, and it even has the details of the email for you as well. Sorry, getting on a tangent there, but that's all right. Moving next, we've got donations. So this is your quick glance. Again, same thing here is your scoreboard. I have the capabilities to look at my donors and how many donations. So I can see I have 86 donors, but 971. That to me, quick flag. I've got a lot of reoccurring donors. They're giving more than once. That's a great thing to have. I'm in an advanced search here, and you can see that I am looking at donation amount is greater than or equal to, and volunteer is true. I don't just have to specifically look at the filters or sections that I'm under, right? just because I'm under donation doesn't mean that I can't also look at volunteering. So now I'm looking at maybe this is a board member that asks you who's given over $1,000, but I also want to know if they're a volunteer. I can put in my queries, I can hit search, I can see that I have 886 donors, and maybe I wanted to take quick action with this specific group, and I can go ahead and select all and go ahead and tag them into a contact group or a donation group because I want to reach out to them in the future. All of these are also hyperlinked. So if I wanted to look at my A4S25 donor, I could click on it and it's going to pull up that specific group. You can also want to show you adding donations. I can add a donation offline. I can put in kind. In kind will break down and change a little bit of descriptions. I can actually charge credit cards if I'm doing a call-a-thon, right? I have that capability. Or if somebody can't figure out how to donate, we're there to help. We can take their card information right over their phone and process. Um, Offline donations allows me to go ahead and type in, let's go with Wendell. If Wendell wasn't in here, I could create a new contact. I don't have to go back to the CRM and then come back in. You have all of your GL codes, right? Your funding codes that you have capable here. We integrate with QuickBooks Online, so that has the capability to sync and have that set up. You actually, your QuickBooks person, your bookkeeper or your finance team would actually go in and click on the transactions to go over because bookkeepers don't want it automatically syncing. They don't want to have, they want to be able to review that and have the information. Tax receipts, you have soft credits, designations, links. You can tie it to a specific campaign so it moves that thermometer forward as well. Issues, you also have the capabilities to go ahead and save new and trigger a workflow. So that might be setting them on a donor journey. We'll get to that in a little bit here. Before I leave the donations tab, you can see I can also break down and look at my recurring donors. I can look at annual statements. I can run my quick annual statements. I have my funds, accounts, sources, and my designations that I can also go in and look at the specifics of what those codes are. So I've created those to match and mirror. From contacts, donations, I also have the capability to realign and reorder my tabs based off of my specific needs. So if I needed, I'm more major donors, I'm going to move that to the front. All of these come out of the box with Giveffect. Plan giving, depending on your tier, is included or it may be an add-on. And then I forgot to talk about well screening. That is a third-party integration with donor search. So I'm going to hop back really quick to Wendell's profile just to cover that because I know it is a question that people have. It's a third-party integration, so that means you have to have a subscription with donor search to have that set up. And we'll talk to those layers personal one-on-one if you get to that point of having the discussion. But this is that Welt screen. It's integrated, so it's built in. So I could just click this query and run a new query on Wendell. It looks at all of his historic giving outside of your organization. So it is that outside scope of who he's giving to and being able to see if he's a person that you do want to kind of reach out to for future giving. Moving on to the next tab is major gifts. Just like our grants tabs, these two are somewhat similar in the fact that we have a pipeline management. So I can basically go at any place right now and I could look at due soon, right? Because we have deadlines that we can track. Or I could look at who's in the cultivation stage. I also have the capability to not just only look at cultivation, but I have a way to look at my team. So I could break down and look at my specific team members that are managing their own portfolios of people, right, of donors or of major gifts that you're asking for. Add an opportunity. I'm going to show you here what the opportunity is that I'm trying to track for any type of deadlines that I'm thinking. if it's going to be specific to a program, and I have it who it's assigned to right here. Once it's created, you actually can go in and like, let's scroll down here and let's look at a capital build or a dog run, right? We've asked George Clooney here. I can come scroll over to my section. Sorry, my screen. This is blown up, so this would fit your whole screen unless you have it blown up, right? Then you just scroll over. I can come right over here to my app, my ask and my details, and I can actually track some more information. Interactions, I can add interactions with George, right? I can have donations tracked that he gave $5,000, and um, it's tracking that right there when I'm adding in the donations, what the money went towards, and then any type of notes or attachments that I wanted to have for that. It's this very similar to the grants tab, right? The one feature I want to show here on grants, because I write grants for my nonprofit, um, you have the capability, just like the major gifts, to put in these dates. But I really like having the capability, once I've created all of my grants, right, I can come into my specific one and look at all my grants that I'm working on, select all, and then go ahead and add that to my calendar. So it's not a two-step process for me to have to then go back to my calendar, keep myself organized, because we all need that, right? It's here, it's ready for me, and I've got it. Um, so I think this is a great tool to have and have the ability to look at. Next is the application piece. This is a great feature to have for any type of applications that you're asking for people to complete. It doesn't have to be a PDF to download any longer and then bring it in or email you. It can be all digitalized if you wanted it to. So here I've got a grant application for 2026. If I come over here, I have the capability to really break down the application form, break down what it looks like, instructions, what happens, here's when application deadlines are, here's when grants awards are going to be noticed. They're going to get an automatic thank you. They're going to get a notification email, right? That's reminding them all of that stuff that they signed up for and key deadlines for their application. I also have the capability for them to upload and Sue, provide your projected budget proposal, right? This is a grant outbound funding that I'm asking for people. If they want funding from me, now I'm asking them to provide their proposal. So lots of customization and details in the application section. If I click on this, I can actually go into the application and see what it looks like for someone to quickly fill in their information and put in their details. If they have co-applicants, they can click that and it will just add another section for that co-applicant to fill out the information as well. Next, we also have, we're almost to the end, y'all. We've almost made it. So here we have workflow automations. Think of this as drip campaigns or donor journeys or any type of workflow automation. Set it and forget it. Giveffect has the capabilities to break those down and help you set it and forget it, right? So you've got journeys of 12 days of giving, where there's maybe each day they're sending an email out, but instead of you having to come in and send it, it's sending it automatically. You also have the capability to set up, we call those triggers, right, to kick off the journey, or even filters on that. So if you have a team that says, I want to know everybody that's given over $5,000 on the back end, you could set that up and say, I need to be notified their one-time or lifetime donation reaches $5,000. So you have that notification that can be set up so you don't have to get in here and look at the data all the time, right? So that's the workflow automations. The last piece is, now I've actually got all of those relationships with my supporters. Now I need to communicate with them on a regular basis. So this is the email campaigns. This is the pretty side before I actually go into the back end to show you, right? It's personalized, so you're getting the information, the key details, right? You're actually saying that Wendell has given and it's got his true data of year-to-date giving. Um, and you even have the capabilities to put in some other replacement variables. It's a drag and drop, plug and play, right? That's what Giveffect is meant to be, is simplistic. Um, you have the capability if your team is HTMLers, right? Or the graphics, they're going to know how to upload and change this and you have that capability to do HTML right here. Um, this is the emails campaign section. If I were going to head and taking why I like those tags, right, and those groups, is I can pull that group in specifically. I can also add in Sam to this list. If Sam is already on that list, and oops, I also need to send it to my board. Um, I can have that information here, and then I can create my campaign. If I have a reply to box, it's going to pop up here if I want people replying back to me. And then I have the capabilities to put in all of these replacement variables. So gone are the days of you taking all of your data and downloading it and uploading it into Constant Contact or MailChimp. You don't have to do it. It's here. They're syncing, they're connecting, and they're communicating. And then you have even custom fields. So really customizing details that you're collecting on your donor. What happens once I click send? Now I have the analytics and the visibility here. So I can see, again, this is a demo. So I've sent it to 906 people, 37 people opened it, um, and what they clicked on. This is something that my board asked for me to do for my nonprofit because we have multiple different links, right? So I can actually break down the analytics and see what people are clicking on the most, right? What is driving the traffic and what are people really interested in reading? Same thing here. It also breaks down your groups and information. If I go back to activities, or sorry, go back to emails, I also have suppression lists so I can monitor what's going on with my supporters. Um, this is built in Giveffect, but in order to hit send, you do have to have a third-party integration with not donor search with MessageBird, MessageBird / SparkPost. So think of that as the vehicle to send the information out. Um, it starts at $20 a month for their subscription for 50,000, and then it goes to $30 for 100,000 a month. So it's not a big investment, and it's not as um, costly as Constant Contact or MailChimp, depending on your donor records. Next is, and we're about to wrap up. We've made it through. Thank you for sticking through this demo with me. I do want to talk about the support that you get. I think this sets us apart from a lot of other systems out there. And this is the onboarding and support that you get throughout your life with Giveffect. So um, we want to partner with you. It's more than it's more than just a system. We are a partnership and we want you to be successful. So with that, you get paired with a dedicated client success manager, someone that meets with you. So you start with Giveffect. I get you set off, or your nonprofit solution consultant gets you set off in a welcome call where you get to meet your dedicated client success manager, where you get to meet your data migration specialist for your data migration period. Your onboarding package starts with 5 series where it breaks down the system. It's systematically breaking it down, and you have different people joining those training sessions because they're only specifically focused on those areas. Session 1 and 2 is kind of the guts of the system. How do I set up my thank yous? How do I set up my tax receipts? How do I set up my subdomain? All of that is covered. And then these break down into events, volunteering, and kind of emails and kind of a catch-all. Data migration, same thing. You actually are paired with a data migration specialist. They are your point of contact for data migration. You actually have a way to communicate with them in here. So it actually keeps track of back and forth communications between you and the team. Um, but again, very thoroughly thought through. It's a 7-step process, and there's only 2 points where you actually have to do any of the lifting. One, pre-screening, give us a couple documents so we can look at it. Um, and then once we've reviewed it, now you've got your upload. So give us all your data, right? And then we take all of it from there and we start uploading it where Sam is in multiple spots. Now Sam is one person and it's cohesive 360 view of everything Sam is doing within your organization. That typically takes 8 to 12 weeks for data migration. It is a very succinct process. We work through it. We have been successful. We have had groups do shorter than that. We've had groups do longer than that. It was really at that point, it's in your hands and your control to walk through data migration and be prepared for getting that set up. Obviously, it's a partnership, so we're there working with you to make sure you are set up for success. And we take that very seriously. We want you to uh, have more time to be able to get back and focus on the things that are core to your mission. We really appreciate, and I really appreciate your time for sticking with me today for this demo. If you are interested in having a conversation, just please feel free to reach out to us, and we will. I'm sure there is going to be information for us to get in contact for a 30-minute strategy call. We do a 30-minute session where we actually talk through priorities, timelines, and then if we're the right fit, then we move into the 1 hour demo where we actually customize it and we break down the system a little bit further, asking those actual use case scenarios in real life application for your nonprofit and how it would work. So if you're interested, let us know. Appreciate your time and look forward to connecting with you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye bye.